Welcome to the HuntFishTravel podcast, the first and longest running female-hosted hunting podcast. She has a slight obsession with sharks and looks forward to a SharkWeek episode all year long. She's eager to share exciting shark fishing tales, shark fishing tactics, and even the occasional brewery interview. And now, here's your hostess, Carrie Zilka.
Welcome to the HuntFishTravel podcast annual Shark Week episode. This year we've got interviews with a Massachusetts brewery, a new shark podcast, and a badass shark commercial fisherwoman. I appreciate you tuning in, and if you get a kick out of this episode, be sure to head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review. Carrie Zilka with the HuntFishTravel podcast. We're here in Cape Cod having a super fun time. And we're here at the Devil's Purse Brewery. We stopped yesterday and I pretty much fell in love with the, how do you pronounce it, Kolsch? The German style Kolsch. We're here with Matt Belson, founder, owner, co-owner of the Devil's Purse Brewery. How are you?
I'm fine. Welcome to Cape Cod.
Yeah, all right, thank you. Tell me how the brewery got started and the meaning behind the name.
Sure. Well, my name is Matt Belson, and myself and my business partner, Mike Segerson, we started as home brewers going on 6 years ago. And we started in the kitchen and pretty quickly got out of hand. But early on, we decided that we wanted to start a brewery here on Cape Cod. We've been living here, and we love making beer, and we thought we'd like to upscale it and open up a brewery. And so,
are you originally from Cape Cod?
Nope. I'm originally from New York City, and Mike's from Connecticut.
Awesome. All right. So tell me what the name, the Devil's Purse. What exactly is the Devil's Purse?
Well, when we were coming up with names and how to start a brewery here on the Cape, Mike spent his summers here. And when he was a kid, he found these things on the beaches, and they're known as a devil's purse. And what it is a egg sac from a skate. You can also find them for sharks and other kinds of chimera, but predominantly they're washed up on shore, and they come from the skate, which is a kind of ray. And he asked his mom what they were called, and she said a devil's purse, and it kind of stuck, and it made sense
it
made sense for where we are. We live in a great, beautiful place surrounded by water and beaches, and it's just an outdoor paradise. And so we wanted a name that paid homage to where we live, but not with the obvious Cape Cod this or Cape Cod that.
Totally. So give me the rundown of the beers. So being from Wisconsin, our breweries are usually like restaurants. So we walked up here, and this is really cool because you guys are like in this like big, storage facility, like.
And we'd say an industrial space.
Industrial space, yeah, right. So you walk in, and you literally see everything. You're brewing the beer right there, and you get to taste the different. You guys have 3 that you get to taste, right?
Yeah, so in terms of the styles of beer, so early on when we were thinking about, well, how can we start a brewery on the Cape? We had to look at, certainly locations, but then also what kind of commercial real estate's available. So Cape is fairly limited in that sense, and where you can find spaces and zoning. So we were fortunate to find the space in this great town of Dennis, and so we found it in the summer of 2014. And spent that fall, and then the winter of 2015 putting the brewery together. And then we opened officially Memorial Day weekend of 2015. So we just celebrated our first year.
That's so cool.
And as far as the beers, what we say is that we're very much a European-inspired brewery. We love IPAs, but we're not an IPA-focused brewery. There's more than enough breweries out there that are doing and making fantastic IPAs. Yeah. That said, we do love IPAs. So the IPAs that we make, we strive for balance and small batches. But being European-inspired, our beers can reflect that. So we're very much malt-forward in our beers, which means that, we take just as much pride in the malts that we use as we do the hops and the yeast. Mm-hmm. And actually, Cape Cod has great water for making beer. There's not much that we have to do to pre-treat it or anything. And so instead of, we don't have a single flagship per se. What we do is we have these beers that we call our core beers or our core styles. And the first one is, as you mentioned earlier, it's our Handline Kolsch.
Which was awesome.
And for those who are not familiar with the Kolsch, it looks a little like a lager, it tastes a little like a lager, but it's actually an ale yeast. And it's indicative to the city of Cologne in Germany. That's their style of beer that they're known for.
No wonder I like it.
And we love it. It's a really approachable beer, and it's not, it's also kind of an underappreciated style. Not too many breweries, at least in the States, are brewing them, and it's one of our earliest recipes that we've done. And the next on the list of our core beers is our Surfman's Check, ESB, and ESB stands for Extra Special Bitter. It doesn't mean that it's overly bitter. It's just the name of an English-style pale ale.
Okay.
And then after that is our Skate Mouth Pale Ale, which unfortunately we ran out of, but we're brewing more of. And that's just a great, easy-drinking, traditional-style English pale ale. And then our Apollo Grip IPA, which is our standard IPA that we make year-round. And then we have another core beer, which is our Skywave Provisional Saison. And it's our take on a French-Belgian style Saison. We use a French Saison yeast, and then 2 strains of Brettanomyces, which are domesticated wild yeast strains. So It's a very complex, lovely beer,
Right.
bottle conditioned,
Like
goes great with food, small batches. We only do 1,000 bottles at a time. But what's kind of neat about it is that this is a beer that can cellar for 1 to 2 years, and
oh wow!
and then
So
that Brett just keeps eating, and keeps eating it, and gets a little funkier as it ages, and then on top of that, we do a number of one-offs and limited releases and stuff.
Cool. Well, excellent. Well, tell people how they can find you if they come to Cape Cod to vacation.
Sure. Well, we love visitors. We're open year round. We're on draft at about 26 locations between Cedarville and Provincetown, which you have to look at a map to figure that out. And then our one bottled beer, the Skywave Saison, is available at a couple of local package stores. Other than that, the only way to get the beer is either on draft or you have to come to the brewery. And we do tastings, and then we do retail sales of our beer in 64-ounce glass growlers, 32-ounce glass howlers or half growlers, and we're also one of the few breweries in Massachusetts that offers 32-ounce crowler cans, and these are aluminum cans that we hand fill to order, and it makes one heck of a big tall boy, and great for the beach, and it's a lot of fun. So yeah, come on by. Awesome. And you can follow us on Facebook, and you can follow us on Instagram, Devil's Purse Brewing Company, and we do have a website as well at just devilspurse.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much for taking the time.
You're welcome.
Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
I have a feeling it's going to be awesome. In 10 years, you guys are being taken over the East Coast.
Well, it's starting out as home brewers, and then being open a year and just seeing the positive response to our beers and everything. It's very humbling, and we're very, very excited and just very pleased. So.
Cool. Well, good luck to you guys.
Thank you. Enjoy your vacation.
Thanks. Welcome back to the Hunt Fish Travel Shark Week episode. I'm having so much fun with all this stuff. And now I have on the line, so this gal that I met on Twitter, who's pretty darn awesome, her name is Sarah. She's a commercial shark fisherman. So she tweets the other day about buoy shark fishing, and I said, you must come on the show to talk about buoy shark fishing, because that sounds so cool. Sarah, welcome to the show.
Hi, Carrie.
I am so excited to have you on. So
excited to be on.
So let's tell the listeners a little bit about you. Why don't you give them your background and what you do for a living?
Well, I'm 38 years old, and I've been commercial fishing with my husband for 8 years now. Before being a commercial fisherman, I was a motorcycle salesperson. But I just fell in love with being on the water every day, and there's no job like it in the world. I get to see a different view every day, and it's just a blessing for us to be able to work for ourselves and be our own bosses.
How does one go from motorcycle salesman to commercial fisherman? How does that even happen?
Well, I had met my husband. We had actually met 20 years ago as family vacations at the condo I grew up in Cocoa Beach. And I moved back to Brevard County, and went to a bar one day after work, had a beer, and I took some guy's seat at the bar. And it turns out, we figured out that we used to play in the pool together as kids, and his family vacationed here from Maryland. And we found each other again 20 years later. And I started going with him, and he said, we could keep this all in the family, and we could do this together. And I said, heck yeah, I'm in. And I've been hooked ever since.
No pun intended. That's hilarious.
That's right.
So describe the average day of a commercial shark. So what all species do you commercially fish for?
There's different seasons and openings for different species. We have a large coastal fishery, which are your black tips, hammerheads, bulls, lemons, and tigers. That's a different species with different quotas and a different limit depending on the time of the year and if the quota's been filled. Then there's the small coastal species we fish for, which are your Atlantic sharknose, your bonnetheads, your fine-toothed sharks, and your black-nosed sharks. And then a smaller shark. That's why they're in the small coastal quota.
Huh.
What we do, we go out, and basically a typical day is icing the boat down, getting your bait ready. I've got a bait freezer that'll hold 1,000 pounds. We pick out our bags of bait the night before, let them thaw, take them out, and depending whether we're buoy fishing or longline, we cut up all the bait. Buoy fishing, you hook, take a big chunk of bait, put it on the hook, and throw it out about 5 buoys with leaders attached to them that have a big 15-aught circle hook on them. And when a shark gets on, it takes off, and you go and chase after it. It's so much fun.
That's insane. That sounds like so much fun.
Oh, it is. And then you basically just hand line them to get them in the boat. And
okay.
I love hand lining fish. It's a blast.
That's crazy. So how many sharks? Okay, so you throw out 5 buoys in a day, or initially.
Yeah.
How many sharks then do you think you catch in a day on average? Because I know.
On average, buoy fishing, well, if the limit, right now the limit is only 3. So I will catch 3, bring those to the fish house. We butcher them, put them on ice, and then we go back out and do it again to catch another 3.
That's a lot of running back and forth.
It is. And then next month the limit will go back up to 45 head, and I'll be back longlining again.
That's crazy.
But it's also...
Wait, did you say 45?
45 head, yes.
Okay.
I'll be longlining those, though.
I was like, that's a lot of freaking... Holy cow.
It is. But the nice thing with buoy fishing is it's very selective. If there's a shark that I get on that I can't keep, I can let it go in a better condition and alive rather than longlining and it sitting on the line for a while. It has a better chance of survival. So that's why I like to do it this way when we have a 3-head limit.
Do you have video? Do you have like a YouTube channel?
No, I don't. I want to start that, though. I think that would be really neat, or even just a small Vine channel.
Right? That would be so fun to watch. I'm so fascinated with this whole buoy fishing thing. I just don't even know where to go from there. So as a company, what's your 5-year plan?
My 5-year plan is for my husband to continue first commercial fishing, and he wants me to get into the charter side of the business. For us, our summers are extremely slow. We fish really hard in the winter and spring and pay for our bills during the summer just because there's not a lot of fish to catch out of here. So we want to build a charter boat for me to run shark charters out of Cape Canaveral in the summer.
Oh my gosh. Can I be your first client?
You sure can, of course. I would be happy to.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so fun. That would be really cool.
Oh yeah, it's a short trip. It's only a 4 or 5 hour trip. It's not an all day, so it's real good for families and kids too.
How would you handle the people who are like, I only want to go fishing for great whites?
I would tell them that we're basically in the wrong part of the country right now. They do come through here when they migrate in the wintertime, but they're very rare.
That's cool. Have you ever been bit by a shark?
I've been bit by a dead shark.
By a dead shark?
So I was moving sharks in the boat, and I stuck my finger in its mouth. Those are the main injuries we had. And we have a bite on our slickers, our overpants we wear, our rubber pants. And we have a bite on them all the time, but they usually don't get through to us. You learn how to handle them and make sure the business end ain't anywhere near you.
Right. Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine if you had a YouTube channel. I would be glued to that. And especially like this,
cool.
This time of year with SharkWeek, everybody's all gaga for sharks.
Exactly.
Do you get a lot of questions like on Twitter and stuff about Shark Week being a shark fisherman?
I do. I love educating people about sharks because we take researchers out on our boat. I work with researchers. I'm not one of the people that's out there to kill everything in the ocean. I want to ensure that future generations can fish for these fish and the commercial fishermen won't be a dying breed.
Sure. What do you think is your number one question that people ask you? Other than, have you ever been bit by a shark?
What is the largest shark you have ever caught?
Oh, and what's the answer to that?
That was a little over 800-pound hammerhead about 7 years ago off the Cape Canaveral shoals. It was a greater hammerhead.
That's insane. That's such a big shark.
Oh, yes.
And I mean, like, I'm from Wisconsin. Like, we get excited about, a 20-pound muskie. Like, I can't imagine a big old shark. Well, that's super cool. So, if we go to your Twitter account, which is @JandSarahFish, JandSarahFish, which I will, of course, link to in the show notes. What can they expect to see? Lots of pictures of sharks?
Yes, you can see lots of pictures of sharks and our daily fishing activities, as well as the gear that we make and we mend in order to keep us out there and keep us in business.
I got to say, to be honest with you, your Twitter account is really interesting. I shouldn't say more so than any of the other ones that I follow, but mostly because you have a lot of behind the scenes photos, which is really interesting.
Cool. I'm glad you like it. I like to show people how your seafood gets to your plate.
Yeah, it's really neat.
I like to show the workings of the fish house and where I sell my fish and other fishermen and what they do. Because I really want people to understand that imported fish is bad. It's very bad for you. It's raised on feces, and there's plenty of great fish here in the United States you can eat without getting it farmed from China and Peru and Chile.
Yeah, for sure. How do you handle the people who come at you, especially during this week? I can imagine you get a lot of hate mail and anti-fishermen coming at you. How do you handle them?
Basically, you just kind of ignore them. You try to educate them if they're beyond that. We call them, and even the researchers and scientists call them whacktivists because they have no science degree, but they come out at you like they know what they're talking about, and then they really have no clue.
Yeah.
Well, they have no clue what we have to go through in order to even be allowed to catch sharks commercially. I have to take classes and update permits. And I have to jump through so many hoops just to be able to catch a shark commercially. Really?
Is it different than like other fish species?
Yeah, it is. Basically, with your highly migratory species, every few years I have to be recertified in a turtle and protected species class. Huh. And basically, it's the same thing every couple of years, and you learn to take hooks out of boxes and how to dehook them in case you have interactions with marine life.
Well, this is super cool. So if you had one piece of advice you were going to give to someone who is interested in either going shark fishing or just interested in learning more about it, what would it be?
Oh, and let's see. I would say pick a good captain if you're not familiar with the waters, and they will show you what needs to be done. Always respect the shark. That's their environment. You're coming to their environment. Be very careful how you handle a shark. There's plenty of videos on YouTube that can show you how not to handle a shark. If you're lucky enough to catch one, just keep the teeth away from you. And it will turn around and bite you if you grab it by the tail.
I can imagine. I know. You always see those idiot YouTube videos. And you're just like, oh my God, you're so stupid.
Yep.
Well, very cool. Well, tell people how they can find you. Like I said, I'll link the Twitter handle in the show notes. But are you on Facebook?
Cool. No, we don't do Facebook. They're mean. They're very mean to us on Facebook.
This is why I love Twitter.
Oh, they're the nicest people. I've never met so many inspiring and wonderful people as I have on Twitter.
Seriously,
honestly, I love it.
Some of my bestest friends have come out of Twitter in the last 5 years. And
wow.
All right, very cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show and educating us a little bit about shark fishing. I have a feeling we'll have you on again.
Cool, Carrie, anytime. Thanks a lot. It was a pleasure.
And that'll do it. Thanks so much for listening. Don't forget to find the show on iTunes. Just search for HuntFishTravel, all one word. Hit the subscribe button. You can also follow me on social media. Just go to huntfishtravel.net and click on the social media icon of your choice. Thank you for listening.